thinking, punk. Question is, can I get Wolverine before he turns me into shish kebab with those claws? Bob, seeing as how these claws are adamantium, the strongest metal known, and can slice through vanadium steel like a hot knife through butter, buddy, you gotta ask yourself, do I feel lucky?
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to the Marvel fan site that have plot synopsis and character bios for this issue. This is from 2001. Joe Quesada does the cover. Very striking. Part 3 of 6, The Beast Within. Paul Jenkins is the writer. Andy Kubert is the penciler. Richard Isanov is digital coloring right above him. I want to keep saying, as I do every time I do these issues, that Richard Isanov is perhaps the greatest colorist that exists. He is phenomenal, and I love me the old colorists too, like Barry Windsor Smith, but Richard Isanov is on another level with his computer colorings that is absolutely, I don't know, it's spectacular. Yes, I know that doing what Alex Ross does requires skill to do his paintings, but damn if this dude can color as well. Whew. So, all right. Here we go. We pick up right where we left off. We see Wolverine, little James, with his bone claws. And look at that. Now, real quick here, before I start to begin. Originally, when Wolverine was first created, the claws were actually part of the gloves. That's why when in that first Hulk, he didn't pop them. They were just there. When Len Wein and Chris Claremont were taken over, they decided that just wouldn't be too practical. A dude running around with gloves, this is of course prior to Freddy Krueger, but essentially, hey, he's gonna run sort of like Freddy Krueger with the claws in his gloves. So they had him do the retractable claws, but at that time it was just something that was added to him for the adamantium. It was not something that he was born with, and it wasn't until in the late 90s when they were doing that Magneto removed Wolverine's adamantium that they went in and said, hey, wouldn't it be kind of cool if Wolverine always had those claws with him and they were made out of bones? And so here we go. So Chris Claremont always says he wanted to do the original Wolverine, and I think that would have been awesome. For as many things as Marvel has done, or that Chris Claremont has done for Marvel, they just don't reciprocate. So, all right. Let's dig in here. All right. So, as always, these stories are narrated by Rose. So, she's writing it in her diary. So, I will remember that sound until the day I die. And look at this here. Oh my goodness. Andy Kubert, very awesome here. So, it was an awful, revolting noise, not a scream, but the birth cry of a new creature that surely had no place on God's earth. The thing mewed and whimpered in pain, and those of us who could stand in witness were transfixed, both repelled and fascinated by the grotesque spectacle of it. Papa, says Wolverine here. Look at this. And of course, this is Logan, who Wolverine ends up taking his name. And I think this is the wife here. Oh, dear God. And, oh my God, I already forgot who the hell this is. But either way, I think that's Dog, perhaps. And so the Rose here. Or that, oh my gosh, yeah, I think that's Rose here. And then, of course, here's Wolverine yelling, "My hands, my hands." And, of course, his mom is like, "Oh, James, oh, please, not you." And he's like, "Mama, I can't feel my hands. Rose, what happened to my hands?" And Rose is like, "James, oh, Lord, mercy, what are you?" And then she's like, "Oh, not again, not you, James. Mama, why are these people here? Where's Papa?" And she slaps him and says, "Get away from me." So, got something, not again. So what does that mean? So we'll have to keep on reading here. "No, Mama, I've not been bad, I promise. I love you, Mama," he says. And she says, "You are not my son. You're a monster, an animal," and throws the candle at him here, which he ducks but breaks the mirror. He's like, "Mama, please. Get out of this house, you damned abortion," she says. And he runs away. "Aw, Mama, no, no." So, a heartbreaking origin for poor Wolverine. A weakling kind of growing up. Turns out he'll be the coolest uh, character in the Marvel universe. So, and then Rhodes is like, "James, come back, come back, Mrs. Elizabeth, for the love of God, get a hold of yourself. Do you hear me?" And she's like, "I said it would if we came back. So, sorry. I said it would if we came back. I said so." So she's having some kind of breakdown here. Look at that. And Rose is like, "There's no time for this. Quickly now, tend to the other boy while I look for James. I'll send down uh I'll send down to the village for help. James comes back," says Rose as she runs. And Dog is still going, "Oh, my eyes. Papa, is that you?" So, of course, she was having an affair with Thomas, Thomas Logan. And she's like, "Oh, Thomas, what have I done?" And so out comes Rose, still yelling at James, trying to see if she can find him, says she can't see anything out there. And look at James, look at these claws. And she's like, "Oh, James," and she's got a shocked expression here. And look at this. Number one, it's well done pencil, but look at these colors. People, Richard Isanov is the best colorist ever. Goodness gracious, he is very, 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 very good. I don't know where he ranks on you. I know there's currently there's some colorists that are really good, like Dean White. Of course, we've got classic colorists like Barry Windsor Smith, who's a great old time colorist. You've got Lynn Varley, who does beautiful coloring, but Richard Isanov, again, he's on a different level to me. And of course, you've got painters, and painting is quite skilled. Alex Ross, Bill Sienkiewicz, but the way this guy uses this palette, ooh, it's incredible. So, and here's Dog saying, "Oh, who's there? Is there someone there? I can't see nothing." And she's like, "Don't be scared, boy. Everything's going to be all right." "Rose, is that you?" And she's like, "I knew this would happen, Thomas," she says. And you see her grab the shotgun. That's very important. And then here's Dog here. "Oh, Lord, you won't hurt me, will you, Mrs.? I didn't mean to do nothing. I swear. You gonna hurt me? And she's like, it's not going to hurt. And look at this. She is going to kill herself. Um, wow. And suddenly, blam! And Rose even turns back, and poor James here. And so James is like, Mama, is that you? I'm so cold. And she's like, it's me, James. It's Rose. James, I. And he's like, starts to cough. And it says, it burns so, my skin. And so we see her narration continue here. There lay before me a monster, of what species I could not say. At that awful, terrible moment of confrontation, nothing seemed real. The bitter, cold wind howled over the leaves, and yet it seemed not to move. The beast, this spastic monstrosity that had been James Howlett mere moments before, was now transformed into something more and something less than human. So, Rose, if you only knew. He is going to be one of the coolest characters ever. But she continues, but underneath it all, just a boy. And she holds him here. Beautiful color palette. Now, something that I disagree with is a splash page for just this. I understand it's a tender moment, but the splash page to me seems unnecessary. It just not for this. And you're gonna see when we cover the second origin, it's Adam Kubert starts doing double page spreads of just regular things that shouldn't be double page spread. So during this time, Marvel just started allowing the artists to just do anything, and a lot of artists were taking shortcuts by compacting certain scenes into smaller panels and then using double page spreads for basically, I don't know, not very much. So kind of a new thing, a new signs of the times of what the comic books were evolving to. So we have got a knock on the door, and we got the grandpa here coming. Enough, whoever the blazes you are, I'm not deaf. And so it's the police, I believe. And she says, Mr. Howlett, sir, these gentlemen are from the local constabulary. They're here on a matter of urgency. And the grandpa says, and so, what could be so urgent that you'd rouse a man at this ungodly hour, he says. Well, spit it out, man, he says. There's been an incident up at the house, sir. It involves your son and his family, say the cops here. So, all right, here, and we're in a barn. Again, back then, they didn't really tell us where we were or what or how much time had passed. It's kind of, the reader just sort of had to figure it out here. And Wolverine still got his claws out, and here Rose touches his hand here. James, I'm so sorry. I don't know what to do. I'm afraid to go back to the house. What if they think it was me? And so, and then she cries, oh Lord, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't even know if this is real. What happened to you? And he goes, do I know you? So he seems to have lost his memory. And she's like, hush now, child. You're seeing things. Can you smell that? It smells like apple dumplings. But it seems so far away. So it looks like his senses are starting, his powers have now fully developed, and he's starting to get his enhanced senses here. I can hear someone walking by the servants' entrance, and there are 3 people in the maze. Oh, and I've been having the most awful dream. Oh, there are too many noises here. It's so loud. Where's my mama? Did something happen to us? So Rose goes, James, don't you remember? Don't you understand what happened? It's me, Rose. And he's like, Rose, yes, I remember now. Didn't you once work for my papa? He says. So he's kind of drawn, I don't know. I feel like based on how he acts, he should be like 12. I know that he's older, but I mean, they really do this whole like, I don't know. some I feel like they have him um acting like a child, like a much younger child than what he is. So all right, so here are the cops here. You ain't got a leg to stand on, lad, and right now and right soon that'll be the last of your worries. You know you were there. You care to explain what you were doing in that bedroom? And the other cop says, best to confess now, boy. Get it over with. Why don't you? And Dog says, I never done nothing. I ain't got nothing to say to you. So, smart man, you have the right to remain silent, so always use it. And the grandpa is like, stand away, man. I'll handle this. Now you listen to me, boy, and listen well. I've lost my only son this night, and my grandson is missing. Believe me when I tell you, someone is going to pay. And the grandpa, look at how he's a mean old cuss. And if you don't tell these detectives what you know, you'll be hung up by your scrawny neck, and there'll be no one to remember you when you're dead. I will see to it that personally. Tell the truth, and I will see to it you win a reprieve. And look at him, and he goes, "It was Rose, sir. She had a gun." So, oh, what a kid. And so here's Rose, and he says, but you've got to help. I don't have no place to go. You've got to believe me, Auntie Hazel. I swear I never meant to get involved. It was Mr. Logan what forced me into it. And the aunt is like, that's not what the police saying, Rose. They was nosing around here and this afternoon looking for you. They say you're wanted for a kidnapping. You'd best be far from here by morning. I'll pretend that you never came by, but that's more than I should do. And she's like, Auntie Hazel, please, you're my only family in the world, she says. And the aunt says, you stop being a family the day you chose to go up and live on that hill, young Rose. There's nothing I can do to help you now, and closes the door on her. So, and then, of course, here's poor Wolverine. And she's like, James, are you cold? And he says, I have a fireplace at home. It's not far from here. We can go. And she's like, James, we can't go back to the house. Not until I know what to do. Oh, Lord, look at your hands. Them things are going back inside. Are you making them do that? And little James says, I don't know. I think I've been unwell again, Rose. Can we go to where it's warm now? He says. And Rose says, I don't think we have any choice, James. So here we are at the house, and the grandpa's like, who the devil's there? Show yourself. And of course it's Rose with little James, sir. So it is you, no doubt, to come finish the job, have you, you murderous little wench? Sir, I had nothing to do with it, I swear. It was Mr. Logan that forced his way into the house. Something happened to Mr. James, his hands. And he says, the grandpa says, and I love that. And she, look at this. Look how cool he looks. He says, shut up, girl, and listen to me. If you wish to live, you're going to do exactly as I say. And so, I warned my son that no good would come of this place, and I was right. Wait at the door. And so the grandpa says, from this moment on, girl, you and this creature are refugees. You can thank my good nature for the fact that you both remain alive, but push my patience, and that can soon be remedied. I'm going to do more than I should because this beast remains connected by blood, much as it pains me to imagine it, but I shun the revolting thing as I would shun a rabid animal. I wonder how he knows. So the grandpa continues, I have influence in this town. For the next 10 hours, there will be no police on duty at the train stations. I suggest you take the boys there. Sir, please, have you a heart? James is only a boy. He's your grandson. And he says, that last of my line died yesterday. I should have no grandson. And he's giving her money here. So, I neither want to know where you are going nor how you get there. I never want to hear from either of you again. If you return with this thing, I will have you both shot on sight. Now remove that bloody aberration from my eyes before I change my mind. And get it as far away from me as possible. Again, I don't know how he knows. So here they are in the train. Rose, I'm so tired. Where are we going? And she's like, hush now, dear. It won't be too much longer, I promise. And Wolverine asks, are we still in Canada? So here we are. And so we are so far from Alberta now, dear diary, and something remarkable has happened, even more remarkable perhaps than the events of the last few days. It's James. He seems to be healing before my eyes. While we've been traveling, his bumps and bruises have been mending themselves, but without the application of spirits or medicine. The poor soul seems unaware of where we're going, what's happened, or even who he is. Oh dear diary, how pitiful we are. Our money and supplies have been exhausted. We are lost with strangers, tired and alone. What's to become of us? And look at that. She's still taking care of him. Don't be afraid, dear. I won't let anything else happen to you. I promise. Here's the thing. Some people would have just left him and left. So it goes to show the type of character that she is and that Paul Jenkins was writing. So, all right. So, many years ago, when I was a little girl, I heard my father speak of the quarries at the northern frontier. This is an odious place, but I hope it will be safe for a while. Most men have gone further north to the Yukon Territory where gold has been found. No one in his right mind would follow us here. Look at this. Oh, you gotta be careful. Lord, such a desolate spot. It seems at the edge of humanity, full of criminals and vagabonds. In that, James and I are not alone. My father often described them as good, honest people. But how can goodness and honesty survive in such a hellish place as this? And this guy comes here and he says, my name is Smitty. Remember it well. Fact is, I don't care what you call me. You'll probably come up with a few names before long. It don't bother me, as long as you do what you're told. I'll wager even God himself don't remember where he put this place. That means my word rules out here, and don't you forget it. I don't care who you are or where you come from. The only thing I need is graft. The good people of Canada need stones to build their houses, and we gives it to them. So, and Smitty continues here. You get paid in food and board. If you work hard enough, there might be some extra for the town. There's gambling and drinking if you need it. But there ain't no free rides. You work or you starve. Now get inside and register for tomorrow's shift, he says. Don't be afraid, James. Just be as quiet as a mouse and will never be noticed, says Rose. And so they're walking and the guy points. Hey, you! What's your name, girl? Rose, sir. You ain't got the right togs for this part of the world. You'll bleeding well freeze to death like that. What can you do, girl? If it please, sir, I can cook and clean and sew, and I can read and write. What about this one? What's your name, lad? He's my cousin, sir. He doesn't talk much, but he's a good hard worker. He'll do as he's told. And look at her. She's kind of pleading with the guy here. Take your gloves off, boy, now. I want to see your hands. No, I mean, they'll get cold, sir. There, just as I thought. And she's amazed here. Your cousin of yours has never done a day's hard graft in his life. So his hands are healed. The claws are gone. And so, oh, sir, I promise he'll do his shift. He'll do more than his shift. You just have to let us stay for a while. And he says, we'll see about that last. What's his name? And she looks down. I don't want your life story, girl. I'm not interested in where you came from or what you're running from. I just need a name for him. That is all. Well, Logan, sir. His name is Logan. So, Wolverine Origin number 3. Paul Jenkins, Andy Kubert, and Richard Isanov. This is from 2001. Hope you like it. So far, it's pretty interesting. I thought this story was pretty good when it came out. So, it's one of those, write 6 parts, sell a trade, make a bunch of money. So, like and subscribe. I do thank you for listening. Goodbye.